Hi, everybody. It's Hector from the Herald Review. I'm in Benson today. I'm at City Hall, and I'm here today with City Manager Greg Volker. He is also the city's chief. And we're going to talk about one subject today. We just finished up with the City Council meeting of the July 14th last night. And while the regular council business took place without any notable incidents, the call to the public section of the council meeting had a very energetic response to a non-agenda item, which is the building of a new business on the east side of town. A business named Aluminum Dynamics is coming in and building an aluminum recycling plant. And a group of neighbors has began to show concern for the project, although the project is well along. And so today we're going to talk to the chief and get an idea of where the project is and what he sees for the future of the project, and also how he may be able to address some of the concerns of this group. All right, Chief. Well, thank you for talking to me today. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed that presentation yesterday. I think it was a show of concern that the house was packed. And so tell me a little bit about this business, Aluminum Dynamics Inc. And when did they first approach the city, and what's happened so far?
Well, first of all, I'm always glad when individuals can come in and express themselves and
Absolutely.
lay their concerns on the table. This is very important for us at the city. City Council is very appreciative of it as well. About a year ago, Aluminum Dynamics sought out the city of Benson with the intention of building an aluminum recycling plant, because the city of Benson had a pre-zoned heavy industrial area that was close to a railroad, which met their needs. Also, they do like to have factories in small towns. They do like to become part of the community and ensure that them being part of the community, so the city of Benson really fit that bill.
And so at this point, the company has gone through the steps necessary.
Yes. So they have followed city code. They have also followed zoning codes. They did ask for a variance on their height to increase the height of their building, which is the building top on it is not an occupied portion of it, but is a portion on the top of the building itself. And at this point, especially with the way the city code was established and the zoning was established prior to them ever coming to Benson, actually the city zoning was established in 1994. City code was established in 1998 regarding building here. Right now, we're waiting on the state regulatory permitting process from the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality.
And so they've been involved basically because one of the reasons one of the major reasons they're here, of course, you mentioned the zoning. And so one of the reasons that they are involved is because the process that they're going to use, which is melting down scrap and turning it into a form of more shippable aluminum.
Well, exactly. And it's taking the aluminum recycled cans and then melting those down into 33-ton ingots. The ingots are so heavy and so large they cannot be transported by truck. They have to go on the rail, and 3 ingots can fit on one rail car and then be shipped to the factory in Mississippi, in Columbus, Mississippi. And
so that's the process that people are concerned with. It's going to require furnaces, which just by nature are going to be emitting I'm going to say chemicals, because that's in gas form, and so residents. I think that's one of the concerns, but that's part of the process, and that's why ADEQ is involved.
That's correct. That's correct. So ADEQ is going to have a permitting process review, a public forum on the 28th of July. It's going to be held at the Benson High School. I appreciate the partnership with Benson High School allowing ADEQ to have this public forum. And that forum on the 28th of July at 6 p.m. is strictly about what is the permitting process they go through. And then on August 21st at 6 p.m., I'm not sure the exact venue. I think it's also going to be at the Benson High School multi-purpose room. That is going to be the public forum for the permitting process. At that point, ADQ will be there, Arizona Department of Environmental Quality, will be there with the experts from Aluminum Dynamics to answer the public's questions and answer ADQ's questions about water usage, about hazardous air particles, about any other continuous issue that people have concerns about. That's a public forum where those questions can be answered by experts in the field that were part of ADQ and also Aluminum Dynamics.
And so this is not an effort to collect official information. This is just to disperse knowledge about the process that.
Yeah, but the first one is strictly to describe the permitting process that ADQ does go through.
Okay, so there's a second meeting.
And then there's a second meeting, which is actually the public forum. The public forum where they would then gather their information to make the determination whether to issue the permit or not.
And in this particular case, the likelihood is very high that they'll get the permit.
Well, when they were looking at building in Gila Bend about a year ago, they actually did get their permit. They did get their Title V permit at Gila Bend. So we're still, but the Regulatory Commission, once a business moves locations, the whole permitting process has to occur again, and it's about a year long process. So they're starting from the beginning, and as far as following the rules of the city of Benson and compliance with law, the Aluminum Dynamics has complied with the law, and now we're just waiting on the permit. And at this point in time, with if they get that permit, they will begin to build in Benson.
So I have to ask, do you see a scenario where anyone from the council or yourself steps in to slow the process at this point? Or?
No, because the state statute, the laws regarding equitable business development are in place for a reason. They have followed the rules, and we as a city, we will make sure we follow the rules and we're compliant with the law.
And so these folks are from the group. Will their intention is to attend the next two meetings?
Okay.
Obviously be heard. Now, so those were part of their concerns, environmental,
right.
And to make sure that obviously the steps are followed. They're also making some other suggestions which are a little bit more difficult to really prove, but it's a complaint of theirs, which is that the initial outreach for the project was mediocre.
Right. Well, it's like any business that comes to town. We're not out actively soliciting any businesses. Businesses approach us. We tell them the rules. When the height variance request went out in November, there was a public notice that was sent out, and there was a public hearing. The attendance for that public hearing was very minimal, but like any business coming to town, we follow the same process and procedures for any business, because we have to show the same level of engagement with every business coming to town, and so the same as Aluminum Dynamics, as well as Taco Bell and Maverick when they came to town. We are fair and equitable across the board.
And in this, when you see folks that are unhappy about the process of how they say they didn't hear
right.
about it well enough, that's an area that you can make more immediate
right. Well,
changes.
the unfortunate thing is that since the city code had been established and the zoning had been established, whether we publicized it or we didn't publicize it, the business had a right to follow the rules and the right to build.
And so you're not seeing any particular wrongdoing, because really that was suggested in some capacity.
I know the city of Benson has, there's questions about whether the city of Benson has done anything different for this business than anyone, and we have not done anything different. The only amount of money that's been spent towards Aluminum Dynamics has been staff time, like we do for any business or any resident.
Yeah.
So Aluminum Dynamics is paying their own way. They have no incentives from the city, and there is no money exchange between Aluminum Dynamics and the city or any individual at the city. They are a professional, organized business that wants to come to town, that is going to help develop the economy in town, and the city of Benson is going to make sure we uphold our end of the bargain by following the law.
And in this next info session that they're going to hold, what are you hoping that folks get out of it? And will you be there? And who's going to represent the city?
I will be at the meeting on the 28th. That I feel that's my responsibility also to understand the issue. Because today the law is set, the process is set. What the city council can do and what the city government can do is we can always try and adapt and change the future. So this information is very important, especially what people's opinions are regarding businesses into the future as we constantly look at our general development plan and city zoning and making sure that we're doing what's right for the residents here. But we can only change the future. You can't go back and change the past.
Is there anything you can say to these folks to make them feel a little more encouraged or better about the situation?
I really encourage anybody who has any questions or any thought processes to attend the ADQ permit explanation meeting on the 20th of July, and then the public forum. There is a lot of misinformation because the permitting process is what's allowable under the EPA guidelines and the state guidelines that allow businesses to operate in the current statutory requirements. But the company Lumen Dynamics, like a lot of companies building in America today, they're looking at standards that haven't been created yet. So what is in the permit process is not the reality. But you have to attend, you have to have a Lumen Dynamics. I'm not a scientist nor an environmentalist to be able to explain that, but you have to hear that from these individuals. So I highly encourage people to come to these meetings and get their questions answered by individuals who understand the process.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming out and speaking, on behalf of the city. I know it's a very emotional subject out there. We heard a lot of, emotional testimony.
Right.
In some capacity, I think you're going to have the folks that are not going to be satisfied with the results.
And I understand that. And like I said, individuals coming to city council meetings, going to planning and zoning commissions, expressing themselves. This is what, like I said, what I take out of this is like I said, I can't go back and change the past, but really listening to them to try and help create a better future.
Well, Chief Volker, I appreciate your time today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you soon at the next meeting.
Thank you.